It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, and social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for joining us. Another opportunity, another day to talk to the community. I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh. Early voting by state law is now open in a few days leading up to elections. There are 2 early voting sites for our Greater West Bloomfield residents that you should know about. The first one, West Bloomfield Township Public Library. That is located at 4600 Walnut Lake Road. That is one of your opportunities. Then you have another location, Waterford Oaks Activity Center, located at 2800 Watkins Lake Road in Waterford, by the way, giving you 2 great opportunities and locations so that you can go ahead and vote. And West Bloomfield Township Clerk Debbie Binder took time out of her busy schedule to talk to Civic Center TV's very own Tyler Keefe about early voting.
The primary election isn't until August 6th, but for some in Greater West Bloomfield, this election cycle is already over. This is the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, which also serves as the early voting center in Greater West Bloomfield. I spoke to West Bloomfield Township Clerk Debbie Binder to learn more about this process.
Early voting is now available to everybody, and it's really a nice new option for people. It provides 9 days prior to an election where a voter can come to the early voting center at the West Bloomfield Township Main Library, and they can actually cast their ballot at the early voting center. It does go through the tabulator, so one of the advantages of that is if they do make a mistake, for an example, this is a primary election, if they cross over on their ballot or they make any other mistake like they overvote, it does kick it back out to them and they have the option to spoil it and vote a new one. Whereas if you turn your ballot in as an absentee ballot, that ballot is not counted until election day and there is no voter there to cure any kind of a problem, so it would get cast as is. So it really provides a nice option as well as additional days for somebody who may be planning a vacation, somebody who may have a work schedule that's less flexible. It gives a great alternative. If you are a resident of West Bloomfield, Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, or Kego Harbor, you can come to the West Bloomfield Township Library to cast your ballot early. There is an early voting center at Waterford Oaks, and that is for anybody in Oakland County. Anyone who is a resident of Oakland County may go there, any municipality. But to come to the West Bloomfield Township Library, you do need to be a resident of one of the 4 participating communities.
What additional steps, if any, do people need to take in order to take advantage of the early voting availability?
It really, Tyler, it's a simple plan. It's that you bring your license. You do have the opportunity now, if you have an absentee ballot that you have been issued, you can now vote that absentee ballot at your early voting center or at your precinct on election day. And there's a process that it goes through in the early voting center to convert it to an early voting ballot. Same as on election day, it converts from an absentee ballot to a precinct ballot. Those results, they don't transmit till after 8 on election night. So after 8, every day that we're here, there's a process that the polls get suspended and the tapes get taped to a booklet, and the polls are not closed with results until after 8 p.m. on election night. But at 8 p.m. on election night, those results are ready to transmit. So it does expedite the reporting to Oakland County and helps us get results to people quicker. It's really a great option for everybody. It's what you would call a win-win-win.
Early voting remains available now through Sunday, August 4th. A couple of locations you can go to get your votes in, either the Oakland County early voting site at the Waterford Oaks Activity Center, or all 4 of our communities can vote early at the main branch of the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. For specific times on each of these days leading up to Sunday, I'd suggest you go to the West Bloomfield Township Clerk's website on wbtownship.org. Make sure you get your voice heard in this upcoming August primary. At the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, I'm Tyler Keefe for Civic Center TV.
And great information to share right there. In regards to early voting, once again, West Bloomfield Township Public Library, 4600 Walnut Lake Road is where you want to go within our 4 communities to go place your early vote. Go to wbtownship.org for more information on early voting right here in our community. And this weekend, by the way, is your last chance to vote early for the polls that open up on August 6th. Residents who have already voted early seem to be quite satisfied with the process, by the way. And here's what one local resident actually had to say regarding early voting processes and why it's so important.
Well, it gives a chance for everybody to vote at their convenience. Instead of waiting for the voting day, they can come in and do it early at their own time. Sometimes people may go out to vote, but if the line is too long, they say, oh, I'll go home and come back, and they don't make it back. So.
And early voting does matter in these elections. As Beatrice just mentioned, she is 100% right. You put things off for too long, you might miss your chance to make a difference in this election. And other residents would agree with this, that early voting is very beneficial. Planning ahead to make sure that your vote matters and it is counted, especially if they're not sure if they can make the November voting date. And another West Bloomfield resident shares her reasoning for early voting.
Well, a couple of reasons. I wanted to not forget to vote, plus I realized I'm going to be out of town on the 6th, so it gave me that opportunity to get that out of the way. It just gives more people an opportunity to vote, and I think everyone should be given some leeway because you can't always vote on the election day. I think you'll get a lot more people coming out to vote.
And if you do have any questions regarding early voting, specifically right here at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, call the West Bloomfield Clerk's Office, 248-451-4848, or visit their website, wbtownship.org. And if you have any further questions, contact your Oakland County Clerk's Office or read the full article from the Oakland County blog. That's at oaklandcountyblog.com, or go directly to their Facebook, OakGov, on Facebook as well. Thursday afternoon, August 1st, the city of Sylvan Lake sent out an email newsletter you may or may not have gotten, mentioning some delays with the waste pickup. Residents were told by the newsletter that most trash pickup would occur on Thursday, but any missed pickups from that day would occur on Friday morning. This comes after a very bumpy first month of service during that transition from GFL to Priority Waste, as Priority Waste taking over the waste hauling services in our Greater West Bloomfield community. I actually had a chance to speak with Matt Allen, Director of Public Relations and Government Affairs for Priority Waste, on Thursday afternoon. Allen said initially about 120 trucks needed servicing, but now he says after some work, there has been down to about 50 trucks that actually currently need servicing, and they've been doing everything to try to speed up that process. As a matter of fact, he says some trucks were sent out of state for repair, and in some cases, they actually had mechanics from the manufacturers of the garbage trucks come right here into our town to work on those. So we appreciate all the work being done. And previously on the Splash Live, Matt Allen gave an overview of the extent of which new vehicles needed to be onboarded for a Priority Waste system. And here's that clip from July 10th.
We've got a wonderful fleet that we had with Priority, but we bought 500 vehicles from the previous provider, and we've had to go through and get them service ready to get them on the road. So that is going to be a process that's going to take 2 to 3 weeks to get through the initial phases, and then 60 to 90 days to implement the Priority technology, which is our third eye technology, and the ground point positioning system, which aids all of our routing software, which is where Priority's technology really comes to bear in communities to increase service accountability and efficiency.
And essentially, Mr. Allen is expressing that they are doing everything within their capabilities to help expedite everything that they're kind of falling back on, essentially. He mentioned that they are also leasing some garbage trucks from other local companies to try to help speed up and expedite the process. And they are also doing Saturday blitzes in some areas and neighborhoods to try to keep up and catch up on the areas that they are behind on. Per the Sylvan Lake News Bite, quote, "The city and Priority Waste have been in regular contact and will remain so throughout this transition period," end quote. For more updates, visit the website sylvanlake.org for all the information that you need regarding this Priority waste hauling transition also. From the West Bloomfield Police Department, keeping you updated on information regarding your commute, more local road construction, and lane closures may be affecting your travel this morning, or I should say next week. It will be affecting the North Potomac Green Subdivision. That'll be starting next week, Monday, August 5th through Friday, August 9th. Covert repair will be conducted on Old Dominion Drive, just east of Yorktown Drive, just to keep that out there. So if you know or anyone else that drives in that area, you can let them know also. Road Commission will have at least one lane open during working hours, and both lanes will be open during the evening. So a lot of that work will take place during the day. As we receive more information, we will let you know, but you can visit the Facebook West Bloomfield PD for more information regarding how that will proceed throughout the times. As we continuously talk about great things happening right here in Greater West Bloomfield, we recently actually celebrated International Friendship Day. And actually we have a local organization that's all about that. It's literally in their name. And you can help by raising money and awareness for the Walk for Friendship event that'll be happening very, very soon. And with us here live on The Splash, we have Bassie Shemtoff, director and co-founder of the Friendship Circle right here in West Bloomfield. And Bassie, if you don't mind, first and foremost, thank you for joining us. What's the inspiration behind this Walk for Friendship event?
So Friendship Circle is a place where we really bring out the connection and the beauty of individuals who have special needs. And we allow hundreds of teens, adults to witness and experience this friendship. So this event, the Walk for Friendship, is a time that we welcome the whole community. And we say, come join us and experience what it feels like to be in a place where is open, accepting, non-judgmental, and really ultimately pure friendship, experiencing it together and sharing with the world of how we should view individuals who have special needs.
Good point. Good point. Now, this isn't the first or inaugural event, so can you just talk about how the event has evolved over the years?
Yeah, so our very first Walk for Friendship was all the way back in 2005. It was an amazing first event. We had about 600 walkers. We raised $100,000. And now this year, our goal is $1 million to raise. Ooh. And we are hoping to have close to 4,000 walkers. So it's going to be an amazing event. It is the 19th year. At the same time, it is coming up on our 30th anniversary for Friendship Circle, the founding of Friendship Circle in general. Oh. So that has been a very exciting year to work up to.
I bet, yes. Celebrating almost 20 years of the event, 30 years of the Friendship Circle. Great work, longevity. That speaks a lot to the leadership and everything going on there specifically. Now, can we get into a little bit more details? We're walking, we're fundraising. What can people literally expect when they show up to support this event?
So, I mean, we have so many teams already and individual fundraisers. You could come to walkforfriendship.org and you could sign up as a free registered walker. We want everyone to be able to join this free, great, amazing event. Awesome food. We're having a concert with Nissan Black. He's a phenomenal rapper. Nice. And then we have all of these rides and activities, free food, T-shirts. Everybody gets a free T-shirt. So you could go to walkforfriendship.org. Please register. We want every walker. We want everybody to be included. And then, of course, please, you could set up a page and try to fundraise. Every dollar counts. And that all happens on friendshipcircle.org.
Absolutely. Right here on The Splash Live, joining us, director and co-founder from the Friendship Circle, Bassie Shemtoff, talking about the Walk for Friendship event September 1st. Now, I kind of want to be a little bit more clear on this, right? So Walk for Friendship, we're raising money. There's a lot going on. We're literally walking. What's the trail for the walk? How long is the walk? Can we talk about that?
Yes, so we will be starting at the Farber Center, which is off of Drake and Walnut, and it's just over a mile walking to the Friendship Circles campus, which is off of Maple between Drake and Halstead. So it's September 1st, registration is 10:30. It's just over a mile walk, and there are great festivities at the beginning and at the end.
Nice. I mean, you already said T-shirts, food, music, activities. I mean, it seemed like it's a lot going on. It's a lot for everyone, whether you want to walk or not. So any favorite memories from these events for you personally, Bassie?
This, it's one of a kind. I mean, there are not too many walks that it is free to join. And the point is it's not about the free, it's about the environment, the energy that every single person is wanted and welcome. It is a place where you just feel like you could belong, and you do belong.
Yeah.
Once you're there, you're part of the community, you're part of the family, and there's an energy that you can't really describe over TV, but it's there.
See, your host, this is such a huge event. If you're watching on Civic Center TV, you can see a lot. She said 600 people at one time. We're expecting like 3,000 now. This is a huge, large-scale event. Can you just talk about the challenges that you face when setting up such an event like this?
We have hundreds of volunteers. Our entire staff is all involved, setting up for 2 days prior. It's both of our properties, so we could pre-set up. And it's very well-oiled machine by now. It is very organized and lots of work, worth it every minute of it. Because again, it's not just the funds raised that is very important.
Right.
It is really an awareness to how to view those with special needs, not to judge by what we see on the outside, but to
Good
realize
point.
there's that potential and that beauty within.
Good point. Good point. Well said. Also, right here on the Splash Live, joining us, Bassie Shimtoff, director and co-founder of the Friendship Circle, discussing the Walk for Friendship event September 1st. Also, since we are raising funds, can you just talk about how the funds being raised actually helps programs and services from the Friendship Circle?
Yes, right now, currently, we are in the middle of a 5-week day camp for 60 individuals with special needs, 60 volunteers, and about 35 staff. This is going on right now for 5 weeks. Then we have a 2-week overnight camp. And then throughout the whole school year, whenever there is school off and children with special needs are at home, which is not easy, that's when we come into play. And we are there to support the families, be there for the children. We have sports, music, art, dance, you name it. Families can sign up their child with special needs, and that's where the dollars are going to, allowing us to be there for the families, support them as a family member, and make it all happen.
Yes, yes. I'm so glad that you're explaining that. You're letting people know that you are a resource. You are available for anyone who are experiencing, have children with special needs and things of that night, especially during the summertime when all the kids are, pretty much out. But can you just talk about any future goals for Walk for Friendship and the Friendship Circle in general in terms of growth and the impact in the community?
Every day, every year, we are working on listening to what our community needs. Currently, we have, as I mentioned, hundreds of teen volunteers. So we're also supporting them from a mental health standpoint. So when we see and hear a need of our community, we're going right along with that and expanding and creating programming that is needed. Like right now, Friendship Circle is focusing a lot also on vocational opportunities for our adults with special needs. Many of our kids are now stuck at home, not able to, what could they do when they're done school at 26? It becomes really challenging to find a good place. So thank God more things have come around the community, and Friendship Circle really is focusing as well over there where we have our Dakota Bakery, our cafe, our art studio, and we're continuing to expand new opportunities for vocational opportunities for our young adults.
I love to hear it. I love to hear it. And we're always being an advocate for it here at the Splash Live and Civic Center, by the way. So lastly, just give out any of the important information about the event. Anyone who's interested in volunteering, please just give that out again.
Yes, thank you. If you go again to walkforfriendship.org, you could sign up as a volunteer for the walk itself. You could find our information and sign up to volunteer at Friendship Circle with a child with special needs. Please donate. Every dollar counts.
Yeah.
And please register as a walker. For the very first year this year, we have a tracker for how many walkers are registered, and we're really trying to get 3,500 registered walkers. So please come on our website, join us, be a part of this great opportunity, and you will not regret it. It's going to be fun.
Oh, I'm so excited, and I'm happy that we are here to support it and put the word out about it. Thank you again. We appreciate your time for being here once again. Bassie Shimtoff, co-founder and director of the Friendship Circle, talking about the Walk for Friendship event September 1st. Thank you so much again.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day.
A great charitable event happening right here in our West Bloomfield community. Great opportunity for you to support them and actually help them with their fundraising. For more information regarding that, head to their website, walk4friendship.com for registration and more details regarding that event as well. Now, earlier this week, we actually spoke to West Bloomfield High School student and robotics team member Max Columbus about their upcoming car rally that'll be happening right here at West Bloomfield High School Sunday, August 11th. On the other side of that, there will be a poker rally with the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society, combining two very unique interests into one event. And with us live on the Splash Live to talk a little bit more about the poker rally side of it with the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society, we have the 50th anniversary event chairman, Rick Bardis, joining us right here on the Splash. Thank you for joining us, Rick. And what was the inspiration behind adding this poker rally to the West Bloomfield High School robotics team car rally?
Well, we saw how successful they were last year in their first ever car show, and we attended, and they've got such a beautiful campus and central location. We thought it would be great to partner with them on their established car show and extend to our 50th anniversary, since there's so much automotive history here in the Greater West Bloomfield area. And that was the inspiration. The poker rally really came out of what really brought people to this area originally. And it all started with a bunch of the car guys coming out of Detroit and having rallies out to what is now the Pine Lake Country Club. And it got so successful, and they have huge trophies all over the Pine Lake Country Club from 1906, 7, and 8. For all the various divisions of cars that would race out here and win this trophy. So that was the inspiration.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that is kind of unique. I'm glad that essentially we have a local organization joining with our local high school to kind of make it even an even better and bigger event. So we're talking about Sunday, August 11th, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., starting off with the car show, 9 a.m. to 12, and then a poker rally, 12 p.m. to 3. Now, what I'm seeing is during this event, the poker rally, they'll visit various historical sites in the area, learning about the region's connection to the automotive industry. Can you explain the significance of these historic sites that you chose for this event?
Yes, and some of them are so unique, I don't think you'd find another one here within 400 or 500 miles of where we are. One of them, actually, you're going to be able to tour a cow birthing room beneath what was a barn, belonged to a automotive entrepreneur who worked at the Henry Ford Piquette plant. So how many people that you know have a home that includes in their sub-basement a cow birthing barn?
Right.
So, but this entrepreneur, his name was Leroy Pelletier, owned a big farm out off Commerce Road. Another location is off Green Lake, and that is the Flanders home, which he built, and he had over 1,000 acres for his farm on off Green Lake Road, Commerce Road. He owned about 5 lakes back there, and his home will be another stop. It is currently the Villas nursing home. Again, the museum will be a stop, and the history of the museum is it was a hotel, and once people were able to get out here either on their public transportation, trains or the railway or a car, they came out to the lakes area and stayed at the various hotels for a weekend. Another stop will be West Acres Library, and West Acres in itself is a community that was put together in the 40s, and they had their own carpools down to the automotive plants. They had their own library. That'll be another stop. In addition, there's a new transportation museum in Pontiac that's agreed to join us. They just opened, and their grand opening is coming up, I think, this week. The Pontiac Transportation Museum will be a stop on our journey around, and I think that was it. We have those are the 6 locations.
Okay, good. So we're talking about a few different spots that has a lot of history and a lot to learn there also. With us right here on the Splash Live from the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society 50th Anniversary Event Chairman Rick Bardis. I want to know from your perspective, like, how do you envision this the poker rally participants to essentially like understand and appreciate West Bloomfield's automotive history?
So our plan is everything can be done. If you go to the car show, they're open at 9 and they go till noon. But if you arrive at 11:30, take in the car show, register for our event, you should be able to make all 6 stops if you need to in a period of about 2.5 hours. What we do at each stop is have a docent there who will be delivering a message, a brief message about the history of that location. In the case of the Pelletier Barn, you'll be able to take a journey down into the cow birthing room and see what it was like in the early 1900s to have animals on your property. We hope to give every person per car a poker card, and the best poker hand when they get back to the high school by 3 o'clock will win the first prize. Second best poker hand, we have a second prize. And the third best poker hand, we have a third prize.
Oh, wow.
So it's been done over years on boats, in cars. There's no timing of it, and you don't have to start in location 1 and end in location 5 or 6. You can choose which way you want to go, but they're all in a very close proximity to the high school, where when you finish, you're probably a 10-minute ride back to the high school.
Right. Oh, wow. Okay, so it almost sounds like a mixture of a scavenger hunt in a way, too, because you go to different locations and you learn a little bit about the automotive history there and the history of West Bloomfield there, but then you also get a card. And you get, essentially, at the end of it, at least 6 cards, which makes up your poker hand. And then from there, it's just whoever has the best poker hand wins the prize. Did I explain that correctly?
Correct. So in the case of the 6th card, if you've got a great hand after 5 stops, you don't need to go to the 6th stop. But if you've got a hand that misses 1 card, you can throw that bad card away and go get that 6th card and maybe fill out for your straight or your flush or whatever. So that's the reason for the 6th stop. I might add that all this goes around our sponsors. The number one sponsor that I want to call out is Orchard Lake Schools, because 50 years ago in 1974, Father Wally Jemba, the rector there, called together some community people, and they formed the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society right on the campus of Orchard Lake Schools, and they are one of our sponsors of the event. They are also a sponsor with West Bloomfield Parks and Graphic X in Sylvan Lake. And then we have sponsors for each of the sites. So far, we're able to sell 4 out of the 5 sites. We have Complete Insurance out of Kego Harbor, the Villa out of West Bloomfield at the Flanders House. Winning Imprints on Orchard Lake Road will be sponsoring the museum. And we're working on Decks and Docks in Sylvan Lake will also be sponsoring one of the sites. So we're successfully getting the community to support our 50th anniversary event.
Oh, yes, and we definitely want to thank all the sponsors and everybody that's helped to make this event very, very possible for our community. What are your hopes for the legacy and for this event and the impact that it will have on the Greater West Bloomfield community?
Well, first and foremost, we really want to see the Robotics Club to continue to grow. I know they have clubs all the way down into the middle schools, and if they continue on, and we have lots of historic cars in the West Bloomfield area that love to show them off, and it is leading into Dream Cruise. Our goal would be to make this an annual event and really support the community as they've supported us. Increase our membership. Obviously, there is a cost to this. The membership to our association is only $25. So members can join, or non-members can join for $25, and then the car show is $5 for them. So it's a $30 entry fee per car. And the members of the West Bloomfield Historical Society, they pay $5 if they're already a dues-paying member. So it's a pretty good value. It's a family fun kind of a thing. You can put 6 people in a car. They could be your children. Everybody that I've talked to does not know much of the history of these buildings they drive by every day, the places that were so important to our history. And these were farms 100 years ago. And now we pass them and all you see is homes and lush lawns and dogs and kids playing, but there's a lot of history going back about 100 years.
There you go. And just like you said, we would never know about it if it wasn't for historians and people who know about that knowledge and here to actually share those resources and information with us. And we thank you again so much for taking your time to be here with us, Rick, explaining everything about the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society 50th anniversary and the poker rally. Once again, 50th anniversary event chairman for the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society, Rick Bardis. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, and we hope to see you all 3 weeks from Sunday, August 11th.
Classic, exotic, unique cars mixed with poker, a great, great event with 2 different passions coming together. If you are looking to attend this event or even possibly participate in this event, visit the website for more information and details, gwbhs.org/poker rally for more information regarding that. So since we are very, very leaning towards early voting, and we like to advocate for that right here in Greater West Bloomfield, it's still going on. We have more information to give you regarding that. Just to let you know, in November 2022, Michigan voters approved a constitutional amendment granting the right for early voting, in-person voting right here in Michigan. And with that being said, a lot of the resources are provided by Oakland County and allocated to our local municipalities to actually execute that early voting. And join us right here live on The Splash. We have actual Oakland County Clerk and Register of Deeds. We have Lisa Brown joining us. Thank you so much for being here first and foremost.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
I got a lot of questions for you, Lisa, if you don't mind. First, starting off with the resources and assistance that you provide, can you just describe or talk about those resources and assistance that you provide for local communities, including West Bloomfield?
Sure. Well, let me back up a second by saying that not every county has offered to their local clerks to coordinate early voting, but I had said actually in the West Bloomfield Town Hall before it even passed that I would offer that to our local clerks, and it's worked out really well. We hire the workers, we train the workers, we ordered all the equipment, we pay for a lot of the costs. It's a cost savings to the communities that that partner with us, as well as I always say democracy is a team sport. And our local clerks have a lot on their plates already. I can't imagine having to do everything they do and try and run early voting at the same time. Right. So it's been a wonderful partnership.
We love that. We love that you are actually providing those resources, the training, and all the things that we need in order to execute effectively that early voting in person right here in West Bloomfield. Now, since we are talking about early voting and the resources that you provide for that, I'm curious to know, how does the services and resources you provide for early voting compare to the resources and services you provide for actual election day?
Well, so election day precincts are completely under the purview of our municipal clerks, our city and township clerks. In 2020, a law was signed by the governor that allows local municipalities to partner with the county in tabulating absentee ballots. Right. So that's another way that on election day we are partnering is we tabulate absentee ballots for a number of our communities, including West Bloomfield.
Nice. And with us right here live on The Splash, we have Oakland County Clerk and Register of Deeds, Lisa Brown, talking about the early voting process right here in Oakland County and the Greater West Bloomfield area. Now, overall, with that constitutional amendment that passed in November 2020, how do you feel like that overall impacted just voting and the aspect of voting amongst residents right here in Oakland County?
There's a lot that came with it, and I think every single part of it is helping to ensure that eligible citizens have their voice heard, that their vote gets counted, and that they have more access to the ballot. So whether you're a military or overseas voter, or now with early voting, the permanent ballot list, I mean, a list of things that are really making sure that people have less obstacles to exercise their right to vote.
Exactly. And I love that too, that, you know, because everybody's schedule is different. Everybody's, you know, well, our life is different. So everyone couldn't, you know, can't necessarily make the election day on that day. So early voting, absentee voting, all those different options are very, very needed for our different residents with different things going on. What has been, from your perspective, what has been the initial response or turnout from voters regarding early in-person voting?
Well, voters who have utilized it have loved it. I, for one, have utilized it and absolutely love it. You know, Tuesday, election day, is a busy day for me, working, and it's for anyone who hasn't done it yet, it feels the same as when you go to vote in your precinct on election day.
Okay.
And the workers love it. You know, it's not a 13+ hour day like election day is. And they have even said that the voters who come in seem friendlier. I don't know what that is, but we'll take it. It's worked out really well. And with each election, we're seeing more and more people utilize it. Which is great. We want this to catch on. We want people to know that this is an option, and also that people can bring their absentee ballot to the early voting site and put it in the tabulator to have that confidence that their absentee ballot has been counted as well.
Great point, too. And we actually spoke to some local residents earlier, and they also expressed, and we can see it in their face, they seem a lot more relaxed, happy. They're doing it on their own time. Just go in, vote. They don't have to worry about the crowd or anyone else trying to, you know, manipulate or affect their vote. They go in on their own time, vote, and get up out of there. So I completely understand and agree with that. From your office, the Oakland County's perspective, has there been any challenges in actually implementing this early in-person voting, and how have you overcome them?
Well, I mean, it was something new for all of us here in Michigan, and a lot for my team to take on. But I said, before we do this, I need to see what it looks like. So my director of elections and I went down to Virginia, where they have the same voting equipment. They have 45 days of early voting, which is a lot, just to see their setup. And we learned a lot from them that we could then implement in our setup. And that was very, very helpful for us. But with each time we're learning more. You know, after we piloted in November, I went and visited our sites across the county. Some of them I felt really needed more signage, different things like that we've built upon with every time that we've implemented early voting.
Going down to Virginia to check. I respect that. To kind of learn what the process is and get information and ideas and pick the brains of people who are actually going through it. Even though you had to travel, it's still great experience. So thank you for doing that. I completely understand that. With us right here live on The Splash, we have Oakland County Clerk and Register of Deeds, Lisa Brown, talking about early voting right here in Oakland County in the Greater West Bloomfield area. How has your office worked to actually educate voters about availability and the process of early in-person voting?
Well, every voter should have received a postcard that was actually required by the law that gave the times and the days, not dates, because this is a one-time postcard, but the days and their location. So any community that partnered with us, any voter in those communities actually have two places, two options where they could cast their early vote. Either their regional site, which in the Greater West Bloomfield area is the West Bloomfield Library, or at Waterford Oaks Activity Center. So that was one way of communicating. We've got it on our website. I know our local clerks, we've agreed everyone was going to post it on their website as well. I've been talking to the media about it. I've posted social media about it. trying to, and really word of mouth. And we've encouraged people, and even some of the workers have been like texting their friends and saying, hey, you should come early vote, because they see how great it is as well.
Yeah, we've been a part of that entire process, spreading the word right here on Civic Center TV, 89.3 Lakes FM. We've interviewed election workers as well who are very, very educated and knowledgeable about it. So I completely understand, and it's our job to continuously get that word out as well. Since we're talking about
I appreciate that.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Yes, and we appreciate you for coming here too. But since we are talking about early voting, which is a different turnout and process than election day, what security measures have been in place to ensure the integrity and security of ballots cast during the early voting period?
Well, just like your precinct on election day, we have Democrats and Republicans working together in every early voting site. No results can, there's not even a possibility that results could be known by anyone. You can't print the tape until after the polls close on election day. We've programmed it that way. And every night the ballots are put in a sealed container. There is a number on the seal that is recorded in the poll book, and that is checked to make sure there's no tampering. And then on top of that, it's stored in a locked room. So we've got double locks, on the ballot container itself, as well as the room that it's locked, secured in.
There we
overnight.
go. There we go. Defeating all misconceptions about any voter tampering, election tampering. We want to clarify that right now and let you know that security is in place to make sure our votes are counted and they matter. And Lisa Brown, I appreciate your time. We definitely went past a little bit more time than I expected. Any last key information for our residents of Greater West Bloomfield regarding early in-person voting or voting in general?
I want to remind people that they can still early vote today, Saturday, Sunday, 8:30 to 4:30 at the West Bloomfield Library, or again at the Waterford Oaks Activity Center if you're out that way running errands. And again, you can bring your absentee ballot in to your early voting site or to your precinct and put it in the tabulators yourself. You'll still have to fill out the application to vote, but this way, again, you have the confidence that your ballot has been tabulated. At this point, I wouldn't recommend putting an absentee ballot in the mail. It would make me nervous if it would get here in time. But make sure that you do vote. And remember you can only vote in the August primary, you can only vote one party's candidates. That's the same on the front and back. So stay in your lane, but don't forget about the nonpartisan section. We have some ballot questions here. So, you're going to be voting in two columns, the one all the way to the far right, which is a nonpartisan, and then either the Democratic column or the Republican column.
Perfect. Perfect place to land the plane again. We appreciate your information. And my favorite word of the day out of this conversation is tabulation. I don't know why that stood out to me. But thank you again. We have Oakland County Clerk and Register of Deeds, Lisa Brown, talking about early voting right here in Oakland County and West Bloomfield. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Very exciting and informational interview right there. If you want to find out more about early voting or voting in general right here in Oakland County and Greater West Bloomfield, go to oakgov.com for more information. And there's a lot more things going on in the Greater West Bloomfield area, including something going on this weekend you should support and find out more about. We'll get into that later. Right now, we are live, local, social. It's The Splash live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Missed one of our live broadcasts or one of your local municipal meetings? Check it out online at civiccentertv.com. Every meeting, show, and interview on demand. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Hi, I'm Kelly Heyer, Executive Director for West Bloomfield Parks. Congratulations, Civic Center TV, on 1 million views on YouTube. I just want to take a moment to say thank you, Civic Center TV, for your amazing coverage, always making sure our parks and facilities and our programs shine. I'm Kelly Heyer, proud to be 1 in a million.
And now, back to The Splash Live.
Live local social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host for today, Kevin McIntosh. Now, the Orchard Mall is a local establishment we can go and support and buy different goods and services from national businesses and businesses all across the country. But this weekend, a very special event where you can support local entrepreneurs. In the Splash, we give vendors an opportunity to talk about their services ahead of the Women's Pop-Up Expo at Orchard Mall. With us live on the Splash from the ICANN Education and Enrichment Center, we have CEO and founder Georgie Williams and Nutrition and Health Director Amber Williams. Thank you so much for being here first and foremost.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Yeah, so we're talking about this Women's Pop-Up Expo at Orchard Mall happening this weekend. And first and foremost, I want to talk about your establishment, ICANN Education and Enrichment Center. How does your mission and vision translate into the daily operations and programs at your establishment?
Well, basically, ICANN is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we provide education and training as well as enrichment opportunities for our youth, the families, businesses, and things like that. And so we are able to meet the people right where they are. If they have a need in the community, we're there to meet that need because we have an ICANN attitude and we are ready to provide those services, whether it be for young people or whether it be for those that we have people that we work with as old as young, as I call it, as 96 years old. And so we provide services, again, like I said, for those in the community and meeting them right where they are. And so the programs that we provide for them meet the needs of the people that come to us. So
absolutely. Thank you for that information, Georgie. Now, Amber, with you specifically, as we attend this upcoming Women's Expo Saturday, August 3rd at Orchard Mall, what can we expect from your vendor booth at the Orchard Mall?
Oh, lots of colorful arrangements of art. We at ICANN Education and Enrichment Center, as Georgie said, we provide a variety of programs to those who come to us. So one of our programs that we offer is an enrichment that supports art and encouragement. So we're all about that ICANN attitude. So some of our table will have displays of some of the art inspired by our kids that are in our program. So you'll see things that says like, I can do this. I know I can. Things to encourage you, things that you can take home, put in your office, and just remind yourself that you can do whatever it is that you put your mind to.
Perfect. I'm glad that we have that too. And I'm glad that we have your organization that advocates for stuff like that and encourages stuff like that, specifically within our youth. With us right here live on the Splash, we have from the ICANN Education and Enrichment Center, CEO and founder Georgie Williams and Nutrition and Health Director Amber Williams. Now, Georgie, kind of getting back to you, just inquiring about your institution just in general. How have the needs of the community influenced the evolution of your programs in the last couple of decades?
Well, the programs that we work with, again, this program started over 20 years ago, where we were working in the schools and we saw we had an enrichment program where we were providing dance, tutoring, after school tutoring and things like that for the parents, parenting workshops. And from that, we saw a need from the families. They brought that to us that they needed more, a little bit more. And so we developed some different programs that would meet the needs, such as employability skills, workshops, and things like that would help the kids to read better, that would also help the parents to be able to go out and get a job, that would also help businesses that wanted to those that wanted to start a business or go to college, whatever it may be. We began to develop different programming that would meet the needs of the people that we serve. And so that way it will meet the full needs of the person, not just one area, but the 5 pillars that we talk about, which is education and training, family. We talk about nutrition and wellness, as well as healthy self-esteem. And then also safety is very, very important. So we talk about all those elements in the community and we kind of put it all together and meet the needs of those we work with.
I love that because it's a full circle thing. It's not just one element of nutrition or training or anything. It's everything put together to kind of make us a solid person. And it's a community effort, a village, as we like to say also. With you, Amber, I want to inquire, what are your goals for participating in the Women's Pop-Up event at Orchard Mall, and how do you hope to impact attendees?
Oh, we want to make sure we meet as many people we can and to spread our mission. what we're doing, our goals in the community. We want to meet other people that are like-minded. This is for women, right? So other women-owned businesses that are out there doing their very best, putting effort out there to help the people that they serve. So we want to network with people. We want people to see our mission and wonderful things that we do. We want to gain support from our community and other corporations that see our great work and want to sponsor us or want to donate. And we also want to provide, again, that I can spirit, that I can attitude, infuse it into the atmosphere when we go there and make everyone feel encouraged before they leave.
And we love that. We need people for that type of stuff too. And I love both of your energies too, smiling. I'm kind of feeling off of that too. I'm feeding off of that too. But with us right here, live on The Splash from the ICANN Education and Enrichment Center, CEO and founder Georgie Williams and Nutrition and Health Director Amber Williams. Thank you both for being here. Georgie, kind of getting back to you. Do you have any specific examples of success from people who have participated in your program that you can kind of share with us?
Yeah, what I would like to I
think we're having some slight technical difficulties with Georgie right there.
Okay.
But yes, Georgie, getting back to you, any specific examples of how your program has positively impacted individuals?
Yes, we have one student that started with us when he was about 3 or 4 years old. And he used to come to us with this. He had an older sister that would come, and he decided, I want to be a part of that program too. So his parents saw how great the program was, and they enrolled him. But he used to come in his Spider-Man outfit. He would be doing Spider-Man, Spider-Man. I'm thinking like, come on, JoJo, come on, we got to learn how to read. Come on, we got to learn how to do our math. All that kind of, stuff like that. And so he ended up joining the program, and he didn't really think about college at that time, but now he's in his upper level 20s, later 20s. And now he has finished his master's degree and he's working on a PhD program. So we have longevity at ICANN, and we let him know that he can go to school. We took him to school and showed him, exposed him to college. And so now he's doing great things in the community. And so we're just inspired by those students that we work with, as well, like I said, adults as well as the children too. So he's in professional development and working with people, and also a lot of great things he's doing in the community.
Yes, and we love that first and foremost, that your program is doing things like that, affecting people in their lives ultimately, and we love that. Now, Amber, kind of getting to you, why is it important for you all to participate in a women's expo like this that's happening at Orchard Mall?
You said it earlier. It takes a village, right? So we all need to come together and support one another's dreams, aspirations, and goals. As women, we're strong, we're resilient, and I think that it's really important for us to make sure we continue to uplift one another and support each other. We're all different. Even if we have similarities in our businesses, there's some aspects that maybe I don't have that another lady may have, and we can always collaborate and work together to provide our services to the people who come to us.
Yes, yes. And I'm glad you look at it that way, because we mentioned that before. I think essentially not only should you be providing goods and services to the attendees that come there, but there should be a lot of networking going on between businesses and entrepreneurs right there also. So I'm glad that you have that mindset. We appreciate both of you for attending and taking some time to be with us. Lastly, before we go, Georgie, if you don't mind, just give any additional information regarding the Women's Pop-Up Expo and what they can expect from you all on Saturday, August 3rd.
Okay, you can expect to see color. This is called the Splash here, Splash Live. We're going to be the Splash Live at the mall. And so we're going to bring that I can attitude. We may have T-shirts and some different art and things like that, but we want you to leave with I can. You may say I can. You may say you can. Then we say we can. As a group of women that are leading the community and just helping others to grow, whether it be young people or those that are older, younger people. We want to encourage others to know that they can do anything. If they put their mind to it, there's nothing too hard for them. They can do it.
Absolutely, and we love that, and we know that you all will have more information to share for the residents and attendees at the Women's Pop-Up Expo August 3rd at Orchard Mall. That'll be happening very, very soon. Thank you again for your time. From the ICANN Education and Enrichment Center, we have CEO and founder Georgie Williams, Nutrition and Health Director Amber Williams. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. And you know what? Our website is icaneec.com.
Absolutely. Thank you again so much for your time. And you can expect to see them out at the Orchard Mall tomorrow, August 3rd, at the Women's Pop-Up Expo. And you can support and ask them all the questions. Once again, their website, icaneec.com, for more information. We have a lot of information about things that's going on in our local community and things that affect you as a Greater West Bloomfield resident. We'll get into that very, very soon. We are live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. This is Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. On cable and the radio. On the web too, and on social media. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
I'm Gina Gregory, president of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. I'm excited that Civic Center TV has reached 1 million views on YouTube. Congratulations. That's just terrific. We appreciate everything Civic Center does for the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society and the community. For us, they promote and highlight our events. It's awesome to have them available 24/7 on YouTube. I'm Gina Gregory and proud to be one in a million.
And now, back to The Splash Live.
Live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh. Now, local resident Bryce R. Cobbs III and his newly engaged fiancee, Leah Breyer, were having a fun date night at our local Tree Runner West Bloomfield Adventure Park when all of a sudden one of them was in for a surprise. Mr. Cobb actually set up an arrangement with the staff at Tree Runner Park to film their entire interaction, and Leah was completely surprised. If you're watching on CivicCenterTV.com right now, as Mr. Cobb went down on one knee and asked her to be his wife. She was completely surprised, and more importantly, she said yes. So we want to say congratulations again to Mr. and Mrs. Cobb III as they actually did their engagement at our local West Bloomfield Tree Runner Adventure Park. Very, very exciting, and we're happy to see that right here in our Greater West Bloomfield area. Love is in the air right there. And many are going out to local parks, speaking of parks, this weekend and maybe looking to play a little bit of pickleball. But there's also some opportunities to play indoors. Pickle Rage in West Bloomfield has had a very successful last couple of weeks, and they are thanking everyone who attended their free play as they officially opened in July, but that grand opening celebration will be happening this weekend. Very special grand opening, I should say, happening August 3rd, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Pickle Rage. Your opportunity to be a part of this comes with your reservation for your court times now at PickleRage.com, and you can learn more on their Facebook at Pickle Rage West Bloomfield. So as they open up their new shop right here for their grand opening, make sure you be a part of that. Pickle Rage West Bloomfield right here in West Bloomfield on their Facebook. Thank you again for watching and listening on 89.3 Lakes FM. A lot of information that we share that affects our Greater West Bloomfield area. We are live, local, and social. It is The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.